You know US presidents as serious leaders, people who make laws, start wars, end wars, and change history. But when they weren't standing behind a podium or sitting in the Oval Office, many of them had some very strange hobbies. Boxing, wrestling, talking to animals, walking naked, collecting pants. And this is not a joke. Here are the weirdest hobbies of American presidents, the things they did for fun that history books never talk about. Theodore Roosevelt. Boxing in the White House. Theodore wasn't just a president, he was an action hero in real life. He loved boxing, and he didn't just watch it on TV, as he actually fought people in the White House. Friends, military officers, advisors, anyone brave enough could step into his office and spar with him. He once boxed so hard that he was punched in the eye and lost vision in it. And he didn't stop. Instead of quitting, he simply switched to another brutal hobby, wrestling and jiu-jitsu. Imagine walking into the White House and seeing the president in gloves, ready to fight.
Come on, let's fight. I love swimming.
John Quincy Adams. Swimming naked. John Quincy Adams had a peaceful hobby. He loved swimming. Nothing strange about that, right? Well, there was one detail. He liked to swim completely naked in the Potomac River almost every morning. And sometimes female journalists would hide nearby, trying to get interviews while he was still in the water, with no clothes. He still answered their questions. This might be the most awkward presidential interview in history.
I think it's important to remember the separation of powers. Is it hot out here to you?
Abraham Lincoln, professional wrestler. Before Lincoln was president, he was a wrestling champion. He only lost one fight out of around 300. He was tall, strong, and surprisingly fast. People in his hometown were actually afraid to challenge him. There are even stories that during tense political meetings, he would stand up and say things like, "Anyone who disagrees can step outside and settle it with me." Imagine arguing with the president and then having to wrestle him. Thomas Jefferson. Invention, obsession. Jefferson was obsessed with building things. He didn't just sign documents, he invented gadgets. He designed new types of chairs, improved writing tools, created secret doors, and even invented special locks and pulley systems. Monticello, his home, was basically a science lab. If he lived today, he would probably be running a startup in Silicon Valley.
We are thrilled to introduce the future of democracy. We call it the Founding Father Phone.
Ulysses S. Grant. Chain smoking as a hobby. Grant wasn't just a smoker, he was a professional level smoker. He smoked up to 20 cigars a day. People even started sending him free cigars after the Civil War, and he took full advantage. His staff constantly complained about the smoke inside the White House. The building probably needed extra ventilation just because of him. Calvin Coolidge. Walking a pet raccoon. Most people walk dogs. Coolidge walked a raccoon. His pet raccoon was originally meant to be served for Thanksgiving dinner. Instead, the family adopted it and named it Rebecca. He took it on walks around the White House like a normal pet. Imagine driving by and seeing the president walking a raccoon on a leash. Totally normal, right? John F. Kennedy. Speed and danger. JFK loved speed, speedboats, fast cars, risky adventures. He enjoyed being out on the water at extremely high speeds, even with serious back pain. Doctors told him to be careful. He said no. Advisors said maybe slow down. He said absolutely not.
Oh God, abort! Abort! We have a problem!
I want troop levels
Lyndon
doubled
B.
by
Johnson,
Thursday.
talking
And
from the
bomb highway
bathroom.
back to the
Johnson
Stone
had
Age.
unique
Now
communication
get out there
skills.
and make
He
it
would hold
happen.
conversations,
I don't
meetings,
care if
and
the
even
report
give
is
instructions
wet
while
smithers,
sitting
just
on the
get it
toilet
done.
or standing
We
in
are
the
escalating
shower,
the
with the
bombing
door open.
campaign
Important
immediately.
officials were forced to stand there and listen. Imagine getting career advice while the president is in the bathroom. That's a memory you can never erase. George Washington. Dancing for hours. Washington loved to dance. At official balls, he could dance for 3 or 4 hours straight. Guests said he rarely stopped and never seemed tired. Forget battlefields. This man conquered dance floors. Jimmy Carter, UFO observer. Carter once reported seeing a strange glowing object in the sky. He even filed an official UFO report before becoming president. After that, he became extremely interested in extraterrestrial life. Yes, a future US president once reported an unidentified flying object. Richard Nixon, bowling at 3 a.m. Another strange Nixon hobby, bowling in the middle of the night. He had a personal bowling lane installed inside the White House. Sometimes he would wake up at 3 a.m., go downstairs, and start bowling. Alone. The sound of bowling balls echoing through the White House at night probably terrified the staff. William Taft. Eating as a challenge. Taft didn't eat. He competed. Massive steaks, huge breakfasts, full desserts, all in one sitting. His appetite was legendary. Some people say he treated every meal like an eating competition. Martin Van Buren. Fashion addiction. Van Buren was obsessed with his appearance. He owned more stylish clothes than most modern celebrities. He followed European fashion trends and spent hours choosing outfits. He was basically the first fashion influencer president. Harry Truman. 4 a.m. walks. Truman had an unusual daily routine. He woke up around 4 a.m. and went for long walks around the White House grounds. Rain, cold, wind, he didn't care. While the country slept, he was already on his 4-mile walk. Chester A. Arthur, obsessed with pants. Arthur owned over 80 pairs of pants. He loved fashion, tailoring, and everything that looked elegant. Some said he changed outfits multiple times a day. He even had special mirrors to admire himself. This man treated the presidency like a fashion show. George W. Bush. Painting. Yes, the former president painted. After leaving office, Bush took up painting as a hobby. He painted portraits of soldiers, world leaders, and even his own bathtub. Some people were shocked. Others said he's actually quite good.
Not bad.
Woodrow Wilson, movie fanatic. Wilson became the first president to ever watch a movie in the White House. He loved film so much that he had private screenings. Movies became his escape from politics. Basically, Netflix before Netflix existed. Abraham Lincoln, dark humor addiction. People imagine Lincoln as serious and sad. In reality, he loved telling dark, inappropriate jokes. He would make people laugh even during the darkest war in US history. One general said, "I've never seen a man tell jokes while the world was burning." After hearing all of this, one thing becomes very clear. Presidents are not just powerful leaders in history books. They are normal human beings with very strange hobbies. Some fought, some swam naked, some walked raccoons, some talked from bathrooms, some watched UFOs, some collected pants. And somehow, they still managed to run the most powerful country in the world. Now it's your turn. Which president had the weirdest hobby in your opinion? And what is your strangest hobby? Write it in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe, because the next video is going to be even weirder.